Welcome back to another episode of the Vibes Podcast, man. It's your boy Two Dimple King, your favorite Leo, Fleeky Eyebrows. And we got somebody that I've been trying to get for a long time. I'm not even going to say her name. I'm going to let you go introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Morgan Wright, also known as the Wright Therapist.
So, Morgan Wright, you just recently had one of the biggest events in Baltimore not too long ago. Tell the people what it was because you sold out.
I like how you worded that there.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I hosted an event called Be a Barbie, Bring a Barbie, which is for women to come dress as their favorite Barbies and also bring a Barbie to be donated to charity. We discussed confidence, self-esteem, uplifting. We did spoken word. We did positive affirmations. It was nice, and yes, it was so. It was oversold.
It was oversold.
It was oversold.
Not many people know, like I've said this openly. I have, when you first brought this idea to me, when you first
Don't
gave
say out the
any of
trunk.
this,
Oh, okay.
you was hustling out the trunk of your
Stop.
car, making deliveries. What
You had
was
to
it? I
get
think
it
it
how you
was
live.
the affirmation jars you used to have.
Yes.
What made you get on the grind at that point and then was like, you know what? Now I want to start doing events. I want to start making it bigger. Because I did not know how big you planned on making this when you first brought the idea to me.
Um, it's not enough people in therapy. People have the wrong idea about therapy. So
Mhm.
if I can get more people, like mass people, in one location to discuss all things mental health, that's what I did. That's what I'm gonna do.
So, what would you say is the major misconception about therapy that people have?
Um, in the black community,
Mm.
it's frowned upon. It's you
Mm.
crazy. It don't work.
Okay.
Um, that's it really. I wanted to change that narrative.
I mean, I would say, do you feel like that's still a thing that people focus on now? Because I would say definitely us growing up, our grandparents, us going to therapy was
It's
frowned.
a generational thing. I think
Mm.
it's a religious thing. I think it's a culture thing that's
Mm.
frowned upon. But I think with our generation, it's like the new thing, or mental health is the new thing.
It is. I would say now it's like a wave. Like you don't go to therapy. Like what? You
Right,
need to go to
right.
therapy. So
That's my first thing I say to people. You need a therapist quick.
quickly,
Yes. What you need to work on? What we gotta
was
talk about?
is that what you go to school for?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm getting my doctorate in social work.
what made you choose this route though? Did you always want to go this route or you just fell into it?
Yes. This was plan A. I ain't had no plan B.
What made you want to, what made this plan A though? Like what happened when you was like,
Um,
I'm gonna stick through school, I'm gonna go be a doctor and this is what I'm gonna do.
I told my family I was gonna be Dr. Right by 26.
Okay. How old are you now?
Not 26.
Okay.
So we a little late, but the point is I'll be a doctor by 30.
Do you get that excitement like I'm about to be a doctor?
Not yet.
Would you be the first
I'm just humble right now.
would you be the first doctor in your family?
Yes.
So
I'll be the
you not
first
gonna
doctor that
brag
I
a
know.
little bit?
Oh, I am. I'm gonna go see the
Okay.
doctors. I need them to be like Dr. Wright in the waiting room. Yes. You want me to address you
Okay.
with your credentials? I want you to do the same. But right
Okay.
now it's just schoolwork. So
Are
I'm not
you in
there yet.
therapy?
Of course.
What would you say? Because I got a couple questions from our guest for you, right?
Okay.
Um, and a lot of people wanted to know, number one, what is your approach to therapy? Do you go about it the same exact way with each person, or how do
No.
you go about it?
I prefer to be person centered. So it's whatever the person is bringing me. I try to guide my therapy sessions with whatever they're interested in.
Mm.
So if it's art, we gonna be drawing. If it's painting, if it's music, if it's dancing, if it's yoga, whatever keeps them interested is what I'm gonna go with.
Have you ever had somebody that you could not help in your therapy sessions?
Mm, yes, but I like a challenge because we gonna work through it.
What?
Building building rapport is my biggest thing. Like if
Okay.
we're not vibing, it's not gonna work. So before I'm even getting into any interventions, we need to be here.
What makes a person hard to work with,
They're resistant.
though? Mm. To
Like
what
how
you're saying,
they
or just the whole therapy thing within itself?
the whole therapy thing.
Okay, but they're there for therapy.
I mean, I have people come because they're mandated.
Oh, you can get
Even
mandated to go to therapy?
yes, it's all black men.
Mm.
All of my mandated clients are black men.
Oh, mm.
I have one white one, but
What?
men
I would
nonetheless.
never. I didn't think that was a thing
What you mean?
for it to be your clientele to be a large majority of black men.
No, I said my court mandated
Oh,
clients are
court
men.
mandated.
Right.
Okay.
My majority clients are women, black women.
Is it easier for you to connect with the women more so than the men, or they both equal?
Equal. I'm gonna find something to connect with you with. Even if I haven't gone through it personally, that's not my job to necessarily know what you're going through. My
Mm.
job is to be like, here are these tools for you to navigate what you're going through. I'm just here to help.
I would just like to say real quick,
Okay.
I have watched you be in this therapy bag, right? And when it comes to your work, you are
Okay.
very, you're on it.
You think so?
But
That's right.
personally,
I'm totally different personally.
totally different. When did you, or is this like a, do you plan on just flipping the switch and then you become this alter ego, you become this different person? And then at home, you're much
Yes.
more.
Yes. I mean, because I can't be mute in therapy. I have to help them. I'm
Mm.
more passionate about it. But me, like Morgan don't talk. Morgan don't like to talk. Morgan can't believe she's right here talking to you, but here we are. So
But why is that? Why? Let's talk about that. Why is Morgan outside of the accomplishments and everything you got going on? Why are you kind of like to yourself and not
um,
necessarily out there?
that's just been me. I'm just shy. I'm not really an outgoing person. I'm not loud. I'm in my bubble. I'm sensitive. I'm the total opposite of the right therapist.
So that's like your alter ego then. When you get, I seen you when you. It
A
was a
little bit.
video.
When I'm what video?
The video when you were at your last event, the right therapist event,
Okay.
and you were sitting there telling people what the whole mission was and everything like that. And I watched it a couple times. I was like, is this shy Morgan, the one who don't really do public talking Morgan?
Because I mean I'm there to help.
Mm.
I'm gonna get the job done if it comes to mental health or it comes to
Mm.
uplifting somebody else. I'm not doing them any justice if I'm quiet.
So when it comes to just your personal life, you're more quiet, but in the field of work, that's your thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna motivate you. I'm gonna uplift you. We're gonna get it together.
What school did you go to?
I went to Hampton University for my
Shout
bachelor.
out to Hampton.
Yes. I got my bachelor's in psychology. Then I went to University of Maryland for
Mm.
my master's in social work, and now I'm at Capella University doing my doctorate.
Oh, you're my doctor.
Doing
Okay.
my doctorate.
So I had another question for you. Someone wanted
Okay.
to know what is your policy on confidentiality? Like, what is certain things that people can tell a therapist that you're going to keep versus, oh well, I have to go tell someone this. I have to
Um,
inform the police, whatever your thing
I
is.
wouldn't say it's my policy.
Okay.
It's HIPAA. I guess I don't know. You just anything that they come to me with
Mhm.
that does not involve them harming themselves or harming other people is staying with me and them.
Okay. So as long as they don't talk about having an urge to want to hurt someone or themselves.
Correct. Anything else is just between.
Oh, so you really are like a safe box. You're a safe space. What goes with you stays with you.
Yes, it has to.
What? See, I've done therapy once in life, and
Like you only went to one session.
yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm a cliche. I gotta be a cliche
What
black
kind of
fan and
therapist did you
say
have?
it's just a regular one. I kind
Just a
of,
regular one.
I just found one. I think you talked to me about it about a website or something,
Okay.
and I went through that. I did one session. I felt as though it was cool. Like I liked it. I enjoyed it. But then I say I meet that cliche because I'm like, oh well, did I even need therapy? Like it was cool.
I think
But I felt it. I
everybody.
fell in the little box to where I'm I'm outwardly. So wherever I feel or need something to talk about, I don't hold it into myself. I have things and people to go to. So I was like, well, do I need a therapist?
But it's nothing like going to somebody who does not know you. That therapist didn't know you from a can of paint.
Right.
Know whether you lying, being judgmental, keeping a secret. Like they don't know you. Your friends are gonna. They're your friends, so they may or may not tell you the real. Either way, it's not professional
Not professional help.
therapeutic advice.
So I think I should go back.
You should.
But when do you know that okay, I don't have to go to therapy anymore? Like, is that a point to where you or any of your clients be like, well, you know what? I think you're good. I think you're okay.
When I see them practicing using tools that we gonna run therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So like therapy is not for anxiety or depression or
I know a
sadness
lot
to
of people
not
that go to
occur.
therapy for that.
Right? But
Mhm.
that's gonna happen because that's out of our control. What I want to see you do in therapy is be able to use these tools that we went over in therapy when you're sad or mad or whatever. I want you to be able to navigate this on your own by yourself. It cannot impair your functioning. When it impairs your functioning, I think you should seek a therapist. When you are able to navigate life stressors without crumbling and isolating and all
Mm.
that stuff, I think you're okay.
Okay, so you would say that you found your passion with therapy.
Yes.
Did you have one before this?
I think I was in therapy when I was a kid because of the trauma my parents brought me, but that was like a white man.
That was like a white man.
I
So,
don't think it was whatever.
do
I was a
you have a
kid.
therapist?
Yes.
Is it true that most therapists need a therapist?
Yes. What? Yes. I like to practice what I preach. I can't
Mm.
speak for anybody else or why they have a therapist. I can't
Okay.
be like, work on yourself and be nice to yourself and be kind and work through your depression. And I'm out here with my life in shambles.
You said that you was in therapy as a kid, right? Due to whatever was going on in your life. What do you say to the kids that do have that infrequent, chaotic household, but their parent, you need your parent, so their parents not saying, "Oh, you can't go to therapy, you can't." What do you say to the kids that's stuck in that bubble where there is nobody to talk to? Sure, you might
Um,
have a school counselor, but it's a difference.
It is a difference. You gotta find your person. So my problems at home
Mm,
ended up becoming apparent at school.
mm.
So I ended up getting like a, I don't know, case worker, CPS worker. And this lady, I don't know what she did, but if I could like tell her thank you in person, I would. But I wrote about her and the experience I had with her and how she made me feel safe and I could talk to somebody and I used her for like all my papers to get into college and I just found my
Well, would you
person.
like to shoot her name out? Where who is this woman?
I just know her name was Mary. I don't
Caseworker Mary. Okay,
know.
for whatever state you in, Miss Mary.
I don't know. She just she moved me, and I
Mm,
was like, I gotta help somebody else who don't have anybody to talk to, who lives in a chaotic environment, who feels
mm.
alone.
What made your environment so chaotic as a child?
Um, I had a parent who dealt with substance abuse issues.
Mm,
I wasn't always in a two-parent household. It was just a lot of back and forth.
mm.
That's what it. I was the only child. I had a
I was
lot
about
of
to say, are you the
brothers.
only child?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
That could be why I'm like
uh,
in my
yeah, I was about to
bubble,
say you're in your
right?
bubble. But when you say you're in your bubble, I find it, and this is why I wanted to meet you so bad, because I find it so crazy how, since I've known you for these years, to get the different sides of you. Like you will go out, you will be the party,
But I still be in my
but you're in
bubble.
your
I'm in a
bubble.
corner.
Yes.
No, I'm not. I don't like the being a life of the party. Mm-mm. I was nervous as hell doing that event. I was
Was you what made it so nervous? Let's talk
because I
about it.
had to speak to people
Uh
in a public setting. That's
huh.
it.
Would you doing this? Do you consider yourself a boss?
A little bit, because
Okay, talk
when
about
I
it.
watch those videos, I'm like, I did that. Like everybody's in
Yes.
my DM. Like, can you host another one like now? Like by December?
Mm.
Y'all gotta give me a minute.
Can people hire you
For
if they wanted to put on an event for children or a corporate event and they wanted to highlight therapy?
and mental health,
And
absolutely.
people can hire you, girl. People can hire
um,
you.
I never thought about it till you just asked me,
Okay.
but I would love to do that. I didn't know this was a thing.
You.
Again, I only started doing it because I don't like the narrative of therapy,
Mm,
and I can't help everybody. So if I put all these people in one therapeutic clinical environment,
mm.
I'm doing something.
You mentioned your homegirl in one of these videos that when you first bought the idea of doing what you're doing, what was her name?
Zay.
Talk about that. You, Zay, over there, wherever the camera is. Talk about the magic that Zay put into you to speak this life into you. That's what did she say to get you here?
My whole village be speaking life into me. She I don't be on TikTok, so
Okay.
she sent me this TikTok, and it was of some
Mm,
girls dressed as Barbies, and
okay.
they brought their Barbies, and she was like, "Picture this. What if you did this and you made it like a mental health seminar and you
Mm.
donated the dolls?" And I was like, "Bet." I'm gonna do it in April.
Okay.
And April 29th passed, and it was sold out.
How
I'm
long
sorry,
did
it
it?
was oversold.
You keep see. You sat here and said when you become a doctor, you don't know if you're gonna pump that chest out. But you just said a couple times that this thing has been oversold.
Because I really didn't
How did
expect
you
it.
oversell it?
I don't know.
Did
I
you,
put the idea out there and people
mm,
ate it up. I planned it strategically. I'm like, okay, I want this, I want this. I didn't want anything to just be thrown together.
okay.
So
So
it was like a
if you
passion
oversold, did you
project.
still let people come in?
It wasn't enough space. But
Oh, did some people get turned
not
away?
some people get turned away. That's why I had it ticketed. So we wouldn't have to go through that. If you didn't buy a ticket, you gonna have to wait till April 2024.
Now I got some questions from my fellas because I told you I ran a poll. My guys want to know, why does it feel like a lot of your events, the couple you've done, two or three you've done, are targeted to young girls or women? Why aren't they targeted to black men? They feel as though they like your events, but they're not welcomed there.
Um,
Because there aren't other people in the city, black men, black therapists, white therapists, that are having events for black men the way you do for women entirely.
well, I've been thinking about ways I can incorporate that, but
Okay.
it's no shade to the men. I just do what
The
I'm
men
passionate.
need help.
They do. I just do what I'm passionate about,
Okay.
and I speak from my own experience, so that
Mm,
makes the difference. I got up there and I spoke about how I was struggling with confidence and self esteem, and
mm.
the clothes I was wearing, and I couldn't speak from that perspective of a man.
Okay. So I got a question from Dominic. Dominic wants to know, what is your experience working with men or women who have a personality disorders or severe mental illness?
Mm, personality disorders.
Hmm.
I cannot say. Mm, I cannot say I work with any men who have had.
Oh, it's mainly women.
I know that kind of just defeats what I just.
Where do black men need help at? Okay, so what is your experience with women that have it?
Wait, what did you just ask me?
What is your experience working with a woman that has personality disorders or severe mental illness?
No, about the men. You said, where do men get what?
Where do men get the help from? Because a lot of my
They can
men,
still go to
they want
therapy.
your help though.
I can.
You
I
make.
have no problem with helping men. You asked me why I put these events on for
Mm.
women, and it's
You
just
remember sipping paints?
yes,
Do you remember when they incorporated hip hop sipping paints?
yes.
How the regular just listening to music and painting, and now it turned into a thing.
Okay,
You make therapy cool as fuck.
I'm
Your
trying because
your
it
events,
is.
you got people dancing as this happening, as that happening. You making single handedly, I could say, I've never seen somebody make therapy cool. You make therapy cool and you make it for, it's like a, I don't want to say black people, but it's like a hip hop. You make it cool. Like, I want to go to your event
Um,
because not just it's just therapy, but it feels cool. The vibe in the
I
building
wanted to
isn't
create a
tense.
vibe.
It's a vibe. You heard it. You heard it. Wherever my camera's at, you
No,
heard
I
it.
wanted to create a vibe. So
Mm-hmm.
I had music, I had a DJ. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted it was a women's empowerment. So I had a
Mm-hmm.
female DJ, had a female videographer, a female photographer,
Who runs
remote
the world? Yeah.
girls, period. I had mimosas, I had sangria, bellinis, vendors. I didn't want people to just be sitting there listening to me talk.
Let me ask you something. I'm gonna give you your flowers right now.
Okay.
Besides your event, who else you know doing something that you doing therapy the way you doing it?
I'm sure it's somebody.
Do you know anybody?
No,
Because
I do
there
not.
is nobody doing therapy the way the right therapist is doing therapy.
I love that. Thank you.
You are, and I'm so proud of you, which I've told you multiple times. From watching you grow this to you are and really have built your own lane. There, it's nobody else. It's just you. You have legitly made a
Thank you.
blueprint of what therapy is. Because most people, black men, women,
Okay.
think therapy is like, oh, I gotta go to this room. They're all focused on
Yes,
me.
people. I can't
Yes,
stand people like, so I'm gonna just sit on your couch. No, I
yes, that's what
don't.
we think therapy
I
is.
don't have a. I have a chair. Okay, and you sit in it, and look. My office. I have little lamps. I
Mm.
have candles lit. I got my little sand tray. I got my crystal. It's a vibe.
You
I
make
don't
it.
want it. I don't want it to feel like you're talking to like someone you gotta build a wall up against.
But you know who
It's
you are
not.
talking to. Tell them. Who they talking to? Who they talking
They
to?
talking to the right therapist.
Okay, there you go
but
then.
they have to be willing to do so.
Mhm.
Like I've had people come to therapy and be like, "All right, so I ain't tell you the truth. Okay, well you just wasted both of our times. You
Okay.
didn't get anything accomplished or out in your truth, and I am not helping you the way I could be helping you because I don't really know like what's happening. I'm not gonna get nowhere if they're not open and willing to be in therapy."
Do you experience burnout?
Yes.
Ooh, what does that look like for you?
It looks like I don't want to talk. I talk to people all
Mm-hmm.
day. I am listening to people's problems all
All
day.
day. Right.
So when I get off work and somebody's like, "How are you?" I don't want to talk. I don't want to ask how you. I don't care if I'm being honest.
Okay.
After a long day. I think recently as I was planning this event
Mhm.
and in school and trying to be in the gym and live life, I was burnt out to where my clients was like, "Are you okay? You don't seem as bubbly today." I'm like, "I'm not. I'm tired." And they can see that. So I really try to make sure that I'm listening to whatever my body or my mind is saying, and I'll take a break. I will cancel a client to eat or whatever. Because if I'm not good, I'm not going to be able to help you.
I think that's a lot of people. I could probably resonate to that. One, you get so used to helping people
Mm-hmm.
that you forget that you are one of the people you're
Yes.
supposed to help.
Yes.
Because if you're not good, you can't be good for someone else.
Yes. If I am hungry, I'm be mad. I'm not be
You
mad.
are
I'm hangry.
grumpy.
You hear say grumpy like that. Yes.
Okay. So,
I can't hear you when I'm hungry.
what do you do to relax? Like, boom, it's a Friday, you off of work. What do you do to relax, Morgan?
Yoga,
Okay.
the gym, my friends. I like painting, nails. I'm gonna go get my.
Go put your nails out. Put your nails out real quick. Put your
What
nails
you
out.
want? What you want me to
You
do?
have had one of the flyest nail games since when I meet you about 2018, 17. You
Oh,
keep up nails.
that's how you know I'm probably about to jump off a curb if my nails not done.
That's the indicator. Without me saying some shit is down
something
bad.
is wrong. Like I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And it's
Okay.
about to be over if my nails are not done.
Let me ask you this.
What?
Because you know the men are on you today.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Marcus wants to know, can you explain how your own personal beliefs and values may impact your approach to therapy?
Again, I believe that I don't care if I have multiple clients who have anxiety or
Mm.
depression, they are not the same. So I feel as though building a strong, therapeutic, trustworthy relationship is what's going to guide my sessions.
Do you ever put your own personal beliefs in the sessions? Mm.
Sometimes I have to assess the situation.
Okay.
I never want to influence a client with what I believe in, but if I feel as though something that I have personally gone through or something that I personally feel could help them in some type of way or maybe get them more comfortable with talking about it, then I'll share it. I love bringing a piece of me to my sessions. Open your eyes.
With you saying that, do you feel as though meeting people that since you do therapy for a living, that you're analyzing people a lot more because of your background?
I would say no, but people say I do.
Ooh.
I would say no. I don't try to. I really don't like to work outside of work. But if you're just going through some things, I'd be like that. They got some trauma. They have anxiety. You're overthinking. You're having negative thoughts, and you need to challenge those thoughts. I don't. It's not intentional.
When did this word trauma, right? I say trauma became popular maybe 3-4 years ago. Everybody throws this buzzword out. Trauma, trauma, trauma. What is, and this is just my question. Yes, there can be trauma, 100%. But when is there just something that just happened? Why does everything have to be trauma?
I don't think don't think there's something that just happens
Okay.
because trauma is subjective.
Okay.
So you may not think it's traumatic, but who are you to tell that other person that that's not traumatic? I don't care if they just got a flat tire. If that flat tire probably messed with their whole day, they probably can't go get their kids from work, from school. Like you don't know. So that's what makes something traumatic and not just something that happened.
You got to think about it from other person's shoes.
Yes. It could be something so minor. They could have just lost $20. What if that was the only $20 they had?
And they like, why is you crying?
Right, and that is why you have to be nice to people. You don't know what people are going through.
You don't.
So that
You
is
don't.
not for you to. That's another thing, another narrative I don't like about therapy. People like to downplay things.
Explain.
People like to be like, it's not. I hate the. It's not that deep. Who are you to tell me it's not that deep? If I want to cry over my nail, I'm gonna do that. If my dog just died and that was like my best friend, then I'm gonna be sad. Who are you to tell me it's not that serious?
I think
or
they're
not
coming
that
from
deep?
a personal thing. Like, okay, it is so minute in the grand scheme of things.
You just have to be mindful in what you say. Like you don't know. You probably don't know this much of what somebody going through. So just be mindful. And if you don't have anything inviting or welcoming to say, don't say anything.
With you having this personality, when would you say the last time that you were upset?
Upset?
When were you mad? Because you have these coping skills. And when was the last time Morgan was upset?
We're still growing in therapy, so I wouldn't say I practice my coping skills. I'm not gonna lie. I be mad. I be cursing. I be mad. I be crying. I use unhealthy coping skills. I want to go out and drink.
Okay.
So I won't say I get mad and I just work it out magically. I'm still human, as we previously discussed. So not all the time am I handling whatever I'm going through in the best way. I get mad all the time.
And you just handle it the way you handle it. No perfect there's no perfect person.
No. Journaling. That might be my best coping. I love to journal.
I noticed.
Yes.
Okay. Miss Morgan. I'm gonna ask this question just because it's something I want to know. Knowing you for as long as I've known you, I've always wanted to know what is your idea of happiness to you?
My idea of happiness.
Because every time I ask you, you might not have noticed. Anytime I ask you how you're doing, you never, ever, ever say, I'm happy.
I think for me, that looks like being able to, I think that looks like stability in all realms. I think for me, that looks like emotional stability. I think that looks like financial stability. I think that looks like me being mentally stable. I think that looks like me enforcing my boundaries, like just stability, not inconsistency. And my life be up and down everywhere, school, work, clients, my personal life. I think I can improve on being consistent and disciplined with things. And that'll make me happy.
You finally answered the question that I really always wanted to know. Okay. So, with all that being said, what is next for you? Like, what is the next goal you want to accomplish? Is it a family? Is it marriage? What is it?
Oh, God, no.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
No.
To the family or marriage?
To the marriage.
You want to get married?
I'm not thinking about that. You said a next goal.
Oh, okay.
It's not even a thought. Gotta have a man first before that happens. So no.
Are you?
I do not want to have any kids.
Okay.
I do not want to be married.
Okay.
Until I have my doctorates.
Wait. So hold. Get those hard lines before you become a doctor. You don't want any what?
I don't want any kids.
Okay.
And I don't want to be married.
Okay.
I get my doctorate. That's my goal.
Okay.
If you asked me when I was younger, what I wanted to do. It wasn't, oh, I want to be married. I didn't plan on my wedding dress and my colors. I was going to be a doctor. I was going to be Dr. Wright. And yeah, then after that, I'll think about all that.
Okay. So right now it's strictly you're in your business bag.
Yeah, well, I just kind of started in this business. I never thought I was about to be doing events or
Oh, you a
thugging it out the
CEO
trunk.
now.
You see it? Do
Yeah.
you see it? Or selling jars out my trunk. I never thought I was gonna do that, but it's because I'm passionate about mental health that I just want to put it out there. I want to work on a journal next.
Now she won't be a fucking author. Okay. Now you gonna be an author
Yes,
now? You about to be the best author now? The right author. This might be
yes,
dope.
everything gonna have right in it. Like it's my name.
What?
So, I think I'm gonna start a nonprofit. It's either the journal or the nonprofit next. I'm thinking it's gonna be the nonprofit. I'm really excited about the nonprofit.
Right now, with you having all these things going on, is it feasible? I don't know if you are, if you aren't. Is it feasible for you to date right now? Because or is men a timid? Would you say, coming from a therapist point of view, that a lot of men would be intimidated by you because of your beauty, you're successful, being a doctor, all of these things? Do you feel like you are intimidating to men?
I could be,
Mm,
but I don't necessarily require those things. Like I don't need to be dating a doctor or a therapist. He just
mm.
needs to be goal oriented. I wouldn't let any of that get in the way
Okay.
of how I feel about somebody.
Because I'll ask that because a lot of men, everybody wants a successful person, right?
Absolutely.
But when men aren't necessarily at that level and they still want to date the pretty, the successful person, and they're working at Walmart, just being bare
Okay, you
bones,
just better come correct working at Walmart being bare bones.
so you can still get it. You still have a
They
shot.
you just come correct.
Okay,
Yes. You could I like flour. I like simple stuff. I'm like a
you're
chicken.
soft.
Okay.
So you like flowers and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'm a chicken tenders and fries kind of girl.
She said,
Like
"I
I
don't
don't
need the fillet."
no.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
so what would be your advice to the young girls right now that's thinking about getting a therapy or wanting to be a doctor, but that's not necessarily one having the money or not knowing exactly where to start? What would you tell them?
To come to my nonprofit because that's what I want to center it around, and not just for girls. Not just for girls. I want to start a nonprofit
Okay.
that focuses on college readiness.
Mm.
Um, I was fortunate enough to be in like magnet programs and I did like college tours and stuff,
Okay.
which I'm very grateful for. Like I said,
Yeah,
because of
you
that,
should be. Yeah.
I knew what I wanted to do in like middle school.
Mm.
I was supposed to be at Spelman. I was going to be a child psychologist with my own private practice. Um, then I feel like you have kids who may not meet the criteria to be in those programs or who don't have the grades and they don't get exposed to the same opportunities. And I feel like if they did, they'd want to go to school. And it don't even
Okay.
have to be for anything academic. It could be they're good at a sport and they go on a full ride there. It could be because they are good at writing or music. It can be anything. And I don't
Mm.
feel like that's advertised enough. And also, I'm a first generation college student. So when it came to
Talk
like
by say it again. Say it again. Go ahead. Go ahead. What are you?
I'm a first generation college student. So when it came to doing applications and FAFSA and scholarships,
Fast was a motherfucker.
we was winging it.
Fast was a motherfucker.
We was winging it. So
Uh,
I would love to start up a nonprofit for ages probably like middle school. So like 12, 11, to start looking into colleges, figuring out what they want to do, and also want to have like a mentoring program in it as well.
girl, listen. From Monique. She wanted to know. Ooh, okay, Monique.
Uh-oh.
She wants to know, Morgan, how do you address issues of power and privilege in therapy, such as if we come from different cultural or social economic backgrounds?
Um, it's important to acknowledge it. I
Mm,
don't like to make it seem like it's not happening. So there's systematic racism, there's blatant racism, and it's a thing, and it should be talked about. But there are ways to reclaim that power.
Mm.
So I would provide tools on how they can navigate that in everyday life, because it's not just something that happens in schools. It's in finances. It's
Right.
in housing.
Mm.
It's employment opportunities. It's everywhere. It's in schools. So
I think it's crazy when people say they don't see it. It's
you
there.
see it.
It's
You
there.
see it. You
Mm.
see it. Even the fact that you're acknowledging it, saying that you don't see it, you fucking see it. You see it.
What were some of the socioeconomic things you seen going through school or growing up? Because you seem like you came from a very colorful background.
A very colorful background. I did come from a very colorful background.
Mm.
But it wasn't until I went to Hampton that I learned like the most about Black history.
Why? Well, Hampton's
'Cause
HBCU, isn't it?
correct.
Okay.
Because in schools, it's like the bare minimum. It's
They trying to take it out of schools now.
It's Rosa Parks. It's
The top three.
MLK,
Yeah.
It's Malcolm X.
There's so many more people though.
We didn't talk about none of those people, and not saying it like that, but in college we had to do an assignment, and we could not speak about anybody we had learned in like grade school, which I think was fair because
right.
you don't get the chance to research other people. So that was good. But then when I went to University of Maryland, that wasn't as colorful.
Okay.
I think there were like a handful, like less than 10. Okay, I don't know if it's less than 10, but not a lot of Black kids.
Okay.
That there was, or Black students, but there was a program of African American social workers within the social work program because it wasn't a lot of us. But I don't see anything wrong with that because I enjoy that I got my degree from HBCU, and that degree from HBCU allowed me to sit at the table with these white folks. So we on the same level.
Would you recommend a lot of Black male and female students to go to HBCUs, even if they have a full ride to say a Florida State, a Georgia, Harvard? Would you recommend them honestly to go to HBCU?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because you deserve the HBCU experience. It's like no other.
Okay.
But like I said, I also took pride in being able to take what I learned at a HBCU, and I made my seat at a predominantly white institution.
Is that hard to do?
I didn't think it was. I like that I could keep up with them. I like that it wasn't a lot of Black kids, and I'm in this classroom with all these white folk, and I'm like, "What's up? What we doing?"
What's up? And we here.
I mean, the everyday world is not all Black, so there's
correct. You have to have that diversity.
You gotta know how to. You want to call it code switching? You gotta know how to code switch. I enjoyed having white women or Caucasian women and African American women at the event. I had white Barbies and I had Black Barbies.
Okay, you unite. Okay, so you're not just focused on one person. With you going to HBCU and going to a PWI, you had the blends to go with both. You can interact and have the conversations with both.
Yes, I think it's an advantage when you can build a relationship with anybody, whether it's age involved, race involved. I have clients who are older than me, like in their 50s. They've gone through things. I wasn't even born yet when they was going through things, but that doesn't mean I can't help them. That doesn't mean I'm not relatable. That doesn't mean I don't have anything to offer. I have clients who are my same age who are white. I have a client who's Russian. I'm gonna find something to kind of draw us in so we can do mental health, because at that point it doesn't matter. Mental health has no color. I will say that. I think people get it confused. Like, you probably deal with crazy people. Are they young? Are they old? I have all different clients who go through the same thing.
What right now, or something that you have been through? one of your toughest mental health challenges for you?
Me personally?
Mm-hmm.
Um, mm,
Mm-hmm.
so when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
I used to have issues with managing how I was feeling. And so I dealt with that in the form of like cutting.
Okay.
So I guess I would say that's the biggest mental health issue I had.
Did you know what it was when you were doing it, or?
hmm
Okay.
Kids are, that's another, people, that's why you should not downplay things. Kids are very
How
much
old were
in,
you, would you say, when this was happening?
um, like 9,
Okay.
10. I was young.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I was really in my head like I want to die,
Mm-hmm.
but did I know the intent behind what I was trying to do? Like, could it cause me harm? Yes.
Did you hide it?
Um, as best I could.
At what point did you seek help or tell somebody about it? Like, hey, this is what I'm doing, or?
Mm, I don't think it was me necessarily seeking help. So that's what I kind of meant by like my problems at school became apparent at
Mm,
home. So I wouldn't say it was, oh, hey, this is what I'm doing. I think I
mm,
need some help. It was because it's out there. Now it has to be addressed. And it
mm.
was, it was addressed that way.
Do you feel as though with that situation, do you feel like your parents came to your rescue once the school stepped in, or do you feel like they didn't?
That's a very honest question. No, I don't think it was my parents.
Was it somebody else, or was it no one that came?
Um, Probably my sister. Well, she's my cousin, but
Mhm,
that's my sister. So
mhm.
that's my main apple scrapple. So she's probably the one who I would say pulled me out of a negative situation. And Mary, of course.
Did that make you? Because I know you were saying earlier that you had a parent that dealt with substance abuse. When that situation came to light at school, and your saving grace wasn't your parents, which is supposed to be, did it make you look at your parents differently?
Yeah, see, that's something that's traumatic that many
Mm,
people might not think is traumatic.
mm,
Yeah, I think it. I don't want to say altered my relationship with my parents because we have a good relationship,
mm.
but I think that probably affected how I deal with things in my adulthood.
Like what?
Um, so as far as the cutting goes, that's not really a thing anymore. But I'm not. I don't feel like my needs were met as a kid. I don't feel
Mm,
like I was able to vocalize how I was feeling and it's going to be addressed,
mm,
which probably rolled over into me now. Like I'll be on mute. I do not like to talk or vocalize how I feel. I'll keep it to myself. People pleasing, anxious a lot. I don't like uncertainty. I don't like when things are unpredictable. But that was because having a parent who dealt with substance abuse issues, that's unpredictable. I know who I was getting on what day at what time.
mm,
So I definitely think what I went through with my parents affected me as an adult. But that's where you get into therapy and you talk about these traumas
mm.
so it doesn't consume you.
I will say having a child and also having a daughter.
hmm How are
I
you breaking generational
I
trauma?
think for me, I'm breaking it because as kids, we get that coming from '90s or whatever, and parents like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. You're a kid, da 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 da. Send the kid's place,
Yes.
but you don't understand that. Yes, you are a child, but you're still talking to a person, and you're
Yes.
this person that you just said stay in kid's place or you didn't show up for me then, that can manifest as they grow up. And it might not be as severe as cutting. It could be something small that's still detrimental. It could be with sex. It could be with multiple
It's yeah,
things.
there's probably a reason why they're acting out. Like
Hmm.
they weren't probably given another way to express
Mm.
whatever it is that they're acting out over.
But to answer your question, how am I? No big secret. I was a very for me, I was a very I was tied. I was raised by my mom, but primarily from 0 to like 5, 6. I
I
had
love
my
how you
dad in
said
my life.
0.
I had my dad in my life.
Okay.
That was to me, that was my guy, that was my superhero, him,
Okay.
my pops. So to me, how I learned to become a man and all of those things came from him. But as I got older, once 5 passed, 6 passed, me and my mom moved like 30 minutes away, nowhere far. And my dad stopped coming around.
Okay.
And you can get me emotional. So my dad stopped coming around.
Okay.
And I feel as though for me, I never had a father figure in my life. So now with having a kid, even to our detriment, I am so present. Everything, school events, I'll take off. Where you gotta go, doctor's events. I am everywhere, every facet of her life.
I love that.
I am there. Even when it's hard for me, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the time, I make it apparent that, hey, she's 5 now. So from 0 to 5, you went from 0 to 5. After that, you won't know what it was like not to have a dad. To have one and not have one.
You're making
So,
sure she
yes. So that is a
knows.
big, huge thing for me to, yeah, you have a dad. Like, matter, me and her mom are going out to whatever, but you might have her stepdad, your mom might date someone else. But through all the midst of that, you have a legit father for
Look
me.
at
So
you.
that for me would probably be, yeah, I
Okay.
would say that would probably be my crowning achievement would be being a good dad. I think I put an emphasis on that more so than
Is that a
my,
tear?
yeah, it's tear. I'll put more emphasis on
I love
that than,
that. Do you need a hug?
no, dude,
Okay.
I put more emphasis on that than I do my career.
As you should.
Backseat, everything is daughter first. I can comfortably say my legacy, if I don't become anything, is that my daughter does. I'm comfortable working a bare minimum job if I can look and say, yeah, I did that. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So, that made me cry. Jesus Christ. So, that would be
Oh.
mine, my personal one. So,
So give me some no really, before you mentioned about
right.
me only catering to the women
Mm-hmm.
and young girls, I was thinking about how I can cater to the men.
Okay.
Give me some ideas. I was thinking I wanted to do like a barbershop talk.
mm-hmm.
I want to create more safe spaces, and I could be wrong, but I feel like the barbershop is where.
You're not. You're not wrong. You're not.
Okay, so I wanted to do like a barbershop talk. I don't know how I'm gonna spin that.
I think if anybody can spin it,
It's gonna be the
you
right
can spin it.
therapist, right?
You can spin
Okay,
it.
so I'm going somewhere with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you can spin that. Yeah. Eventually, if you cater one to the boys, and eventually just go back and forth, mixed, or go back to the women. Yeah, because I feel like now I don't want to. I hate doing this with saying or putting the narrative that all black men have trauma and black men need therapy. Yes, men need
I would,
therapy.
yes.
Men. I hate when everybody just stigmatizes. And yes, everybody can benefit from therapy. But when you tag that label onto something like just all black men, it makes coming as a black man, it comes off as you're immediately, without even knowing if I even really need it. It's always good to have, but then there are people that need it, and then there are people that, okay, he's
I feel
functioning.
like there are people that need it, and there are
Yeah,
people who can benefit
benefit
from
from
it.
it. But the
Yes.
way that it's put now, it's like a whole, oh, just all black men are traumatized and we all need therapy. No, that is not the case. We can all benefit, but to put that narrative that we just all working through trauma and the white man just got us all down and
Not the white
systematically
man.
we're all fucked. No, no. and I can speak comfortably for myself. No, I'm not systematically fucked up. White man never got me down, but I'm also very conscious and aware that just because I'm not doesn't mean that somebody else isn't. So I'm all with, yeah, black men go to therapy. But to force it and just stigmatize and put us all in one group, yeah, I don't really like that. I don't like that. And it's not, and I don't need, and maybe I say that because it's not, oh, all black women need therapy, or Asian women need therapy. It's like that one. All black men need therapy. There's never a lump of any other color, any other gender. It's black men need therapy. Is anybody else going? Because is it
Not
just
as
us?
anybody. No, it's not. It's not. And I completely agree with you. Can we just say people need therapy?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We can leave it there then.
And how are you breaking the generational curse, man? Because you already did so much. You're about to be the first doctor. You're the first person who went to college.
You just answered your own question.
Are there more? Are you comfortable now
With what?
with which you've become? Are you comfortable
Oh no,
now?
I have a lot more to do. I just told you this nonprofit, and I gotta be an author. I have to.
I
I
think you're
like,
running into the same thing I run into.
which is what.
Even with this podcast, right? Me and you were roughly on the ground at the same time when I randomly started this up, and you randomly was like, I got jars. I was like, okay. Um, I think that even with this, I never took the time to really sit back and appreciate my accomplishments in it. It's always what you just did. It's always the next thing, the next thing, the next
I'm
thing, the next thing.
trying.
I can't sit in my accomplishments. To me, I feel like it's cool, but I want to do something else now. When do you sit in your accomplishments?
I actually had therapy today,
Mm.
and my therapist told me to celebrate myself, so I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna do that. Well, okay, my biggest accomplishment, I told my therapist about the event,
Okay.
and she came. And I was so nervous because I'm like, I want my therapist to see that, she didn't waste her time with me, that she sees some growth. And I
Mm.
also needed her to see me as another therapist who knows her shit. So the end of the event happened, and she came up to me and she told me I inspired her. And I was like, you're my you've been in this game for a long time, and I inspired you. So
Mm.
yes, that's an accomplishment that I'm very excited
If
about.
you could go back who you are right now and go talk to the little girl that was cutting herself, what would be your words to her?
She figured it out.
Mm.
She stuck with what she was gonna do. Like,
Mm.
when I tell you, everybody in my family, like all my family and friends, know that I was going to be Dr. Wright by 26. Again, not 26 now, but um, I think little Morgan would be very proud of this Morgan. Now, Morgan had to go through
I'm trying to go to the
some
loops.
ups and downs.
Mm.
Like I said, now I'm working on practicing what I preach. And I think I spent a lot of time working on everybody else, that Morgan is now working on Morgan and
Mm.
working from the inside out. And I think that's going to be beautiful. I think little Morgan will be very proud of that.
That is so fucking dope.
Okay.
That's dope as hell.
Thank you.
Listen, before we get out of here, man, I would just like to say on air, as I keep saying, I've said this to you for years now. I look up to you, which I've never said. I look up to you. I'm proud of you.
Me.
Yes, you give
Thank
me
you.
something that I don't have. To see you have it, you are one of the most resilient people.
Me. Thank you.
I have
I
witnessed
appreciate
you
it.
go through crazy things, but you have never strayed the path. You can have the worst day and
Because
you never stray, ever, ever.
I don't have to be a story.
Mm.
That's why I'm so passionate about journaling too.
Mm.
Journaling allows me to put things on paper, and
Mm.
you can, instead of being in your story, you become the author of your story.
Mm.
And it don't have to end like that. You could do something about. You can literally choose to be happy. You can fix it.
You could choose to be
You
happy.
can choose to be happy.
Okay.
So I chose to stick on my path, and here we are.
Well, listen, man. Before we get out, is there anything else you want to share to the boys, to the girls, to the young women, to yourself?
Recently I've been thinking about how I owe myself an apology.
Okay.
'Cause there be a lot of self doubt and a lot of negative self talk.
Okay.
I'm always thinking the worst. I'm in my own way,
Okay.
and I can't really do that anymore because I have a bunch of people to help.
Mm-hmm.
And Be a Barbie, Bring a Barbie will be annual. It will be every April.
Oh.
Bigger and better.
Oh man, we doing conventions. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We selling out arenas.
Oh shit! Now you about to be my rich friend. I'm gonna bring this interview up everywhere. Hey,
no, I don't know you.
Oh, you right?
Okay.
Well, listen. I hope to see that. Knowing you, you're definitely going to do that.
Absolutely.
When I catch you on Forbes, I'm be like, I know her. I got a number. I ain't got a real number, but I got it, the old number. So I appreciate you for finally coming on the Vibes podcast. You gave me.
Thank you for having me.
You gave me more than what I wanted. So
really? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Can't wait to see what's next. Tell people where they can find you, reach you, do therapy with you. Go ahead.
Well, because I am practicing self-care and I need a little minutes, I'm not taking clients right now.
Okay.
But you can follow me at the Wright Therapist _ and the next thing I am working on is a blog, an anonymous blog where you are able to write anonymously about things you're going through, professional advice you're seeking, and I'll respond to you on there.
Ooh, well, listen. This has been another episode of the Vibes Podcast, man. Two Dimple King, your favorite Leo. Shout out to the amazing Wright Therapist, Morgan, if you know her personally. We will be back with another episode pretty soon. I got to put this one out first. I'm so excited about this one. So catch us on the next one, man. We out.